Am I the a-hole for charging my friend for an initially free wedding cake after she told me it doesn't count as a wedding gift? I, 34 female, have a friend, who I'll call Mary, 33 female, who is getting married in 2 weeks. She and I have been friends for several years, and I was excited when she asked me if I could make her cake. I don't normally do cakes anymore for people outside of family and friends as I'm currently pregnant, have a 1-year-old, and am currently pursuing another master's degree in education administration, so I can be a school principal because teaching is dead end without an admin license, unfortunately. At the time when she asked, I was also teaching full-time and finishing up a different master's program. Anyway, I agreed to make this cake over a year ago. I told Mary when she offered to pay that I would do it for free as my wedding gift to her. I distinctly said wedding gift. She accepted, and we started planning the design. Mary wanted a 4-tier cake with each tier a different flavor: white, chocolate, yellow, lemon, and several sugar flowers and fondant decorations, as well as 3 different flavored buttercreams. It was a lot, but since she is having an August wedding, I had time because school would be out for summer, and I am actually taking a year off since finding out I was pregnant a few months ago. Saturday, I went to Mary's bachelorette party. The party itself was fine. Nothing remarkable happened. I couldn't drink, but everyone had fun. One of Mary's bridesmaids asked what we all were getting her for her wedding. I said I was making the cake for free. The bridesmaid and other girls there said that was a good gift because cake is expensive and they wished they had gotten one for free. That's it, and I heard nothing else about it until today. Mary texted me and asked why I wasn't getting her a wedding gift. I told her I was, and that it was the cake, and reminded her that the cake was free. She said that wasn't a gift and that it's a favor. I told her it's a gift and that she can't tell me what I can gift her. I then asked why she was mentioning it, and she said the bridesmaid I spoke to Saturday told her that she was so lucky to get a free cake. She agreed, but then was upset when the bridesmaid said, "That's a good gift." I asked her if her own bridesmaid thinks it's a good gift, what's the problem? And she said it's not up to the bridesmaid to tell her what her gifts are. I told her this is her gift. She said that a gift needs to be something she can use in her marriage, not just the cake at the wedding. I told her with me going to school and not working right now that this is a major expense that I'm taking on by doing it for free, and she said that wasn't her problem and that a real friend would do both. I responded with, "Fine, I'll get back to you," and she thanked me for understanding. About 30 minutes later, I sent her a bill for her cake. The bill was for $700 with a deposit of $350 due by this Friday and the rest 24 hours before the event start time. She asked me what that was for, and I told her since it's not a gift, she needs to pay for it. She said she couldn't afford it, and I told her I didn't care, and this is what business looks like. I did promise to get her a gift off of her registry, though. She told me no cake is worth $700, but in the bill breakdown, I pointed out where it was going from ingredients to transportation. Her venue is 45 minutes away. Additional labor, my husband helps me deliver cakes, so he's getting paid, too. Last-minute booking, time, and the size of the cake on top of the intricate decorations she wants. She said she shouldn't be charged for anything since I promised to do it for free, and it's too late to find another baker. I said, that sounds an awful lot like not my problem. Because it isn't. She then asked if I could just do the cake for free and forget the gift, but I said no, this is the new deal, and I have not responded to her text since. She and her fiancé were venting in a group message with a wedding party that I'm not in. One of the bridesmaids, who is a mutual friend, asked me what happened after telling me what was being said in the group text, and I sent her the messages of our exchange, and now apparently the bridal party is now divided. Some are saying I should go back and do the cake for free like I originally promised, while others are telling Mary she was wrong, and apparently it's become a huge ordeal. Her fiancé is now mad at both of us for being petty and ridiculous. My husband is team, Mary can suck an egg, and doesn't think I should do the cake or get the gift. But he told me to remember this could cost me a friendship, but he'd support me either way, but he thinks I should stand my ground in this and not let Mary push me around. However, my husband also doesn't really like Mary for unrelated reasons, so he may be biased. Am I the a-hole for charging my friend for the cake and refusing to do it free after she got mad at me? ETA. Burner account because I'm pretty sure Mary has read it for the wedding subs. Update 1. I read as many comments as I could. TBH, I did not expect the amount of responses I got, and responded to who I could. This post was originally going to be answering as many repeat questions as I could, but this morning, mutual friend bridesmaid, I'll call Pam, messaged me today to give me an update. Mary and her fiancé, I'll call Frank, are currently not on speaking terms because they got into an argument last night. It wasn't directly because of the cake, but what the cake debacle revealed to Frank. Apparently, Mary has been spending a lot of his money on this wedding. Now, we all kind of already knew that. Mary told us Frank and his family would be footing the bill. He's an engineer, and his family has a lot of money. I'm not exactly sure what their family wealth is from, but it was enough to pay out of pocket for him and his siblings to go to expensive universities debt-free. What we didn't know is that they've been arguing about the finances this entire time, and my cake was the last straw for Frank. Mary's budget for their wedding was $30,000, and she's apparently spent almost double that on intricate flowers, her wedding dress, decorations, engagement photos, catering, open bar, entertainment, and flying her family in and paying for their accommodations. The venue alone took a good chunk of their money because of the size and location, an hour away from where we all live. It's a large house, maybe considered a mansion, I can't remember, with several acres of land, horses, a lake, and a field for wedding photos. The entire wedding party is supposedly staying there for a few days leading up to the wedding. I've not seen it in person. Again, I'm not in the wedding party and never was, but the photos online make it obvious why it's so expensive. I had no idea they had spent that much, and neither did anyone in the wedding party. As far as we all knew, the most expensive thing Mary had bought was her wedding dress to the tune of $5,000. I only know because I went with her to try some on with other friends and bridesmaids. Pam's fiancé is one of Frank's groomsmen, and Frank's been venting to the groomsmen in texts about how much this is costing, and he's not sure he wants to do this anymore. However, he feels compelled to because the money has been spent and is non-refundable, but he said he didn't know Mary would be this way about a wedding because she typically sticks to budgets, which is true. Literally everyone is surprised by how much she is supposedly spending, including my husband and me. Mary is the person who gets everything off-brand at the store to save $1 even when she really doesn't need to. From what Pam told me, Mary asked him to just pay me so she could have the cake, and he said no, not because he couldn't afford it, but because he was tired of spending money on just one day. He told her to figure it out herself. So nobody knows what is going on anymore, or if there will even be a wedding. No one has reached out to me about making the cake either, and my husband, for those wondering, is still team Mary can suck an egg. Before anyone asks, no, Mary did not grow up poor. She was very much middle class like I was, and she's never been broke or anything. She's also never seemed like she wanted overly expensive stuff. She drives a 10-year-old sedan that, despite Frank saying she needs a new car, she won't get rid of because it runs fine, and my dad taught me to drive my cars into the ground. So believe me when I say it really is out of character for her to be this nonchalant about money. I'm not sure if I'll have another update. If I do, it'll be after the wedding if there is one. ETA, I know a lot of people are saying things about Mary just using Frank for his money, but at the same time, I want to remember that Pam only gave me Frank's side via what he's been telling the groomsmen. I have no idea what part he played, and if this really actually bothered him up to this point, or if he's ever mentioned the amount she's been spending to her. It's now 6 p.m., and I've not spoken to or heard from Mary since yesterday after giving her the quote, so I don't have any more to add other than my perspective. It really does sound out of character for Mary to be doing this, but I remember when I got married that my husband said he wanted me to have what made me happy for our wedding. So if he's been telling her what my husband told me and still giving her money, then he's definitely not an innocent party IMO. Last update. So I didn't expect this to actually get read on Charlotte's channel, but since it did, I'll let everyone know what ended up happening. And yes, it's confusing. Long story short, the villain in this situation isn't Mary. It's Frank. And no, they did not get married. If you want to read the first two updates, they're the only other two posts in my profile. And this update is all the information I've gathered from bridesmaid Pam and her fiancé, so bear with me. Most of this is what Mary has told Pam, who then relayed it to me. Anyway, I mentioned before that Mary was and still is a frugal person. That's why we all thought the gift and cake thing was weird, as well as her spending a bunch of money for the wedding. It turns out that Mary has actually been trying to save money despite doubling their budget apparently. Frank's family always throws extravagant celebrations and parties. That includes birthdays, holidays, graduations, and weddings. So Frank has been emphasizing to Mary that this wedding is supposed to be huge because that's just how his family is. I'm guessing it's a way to flaunt success, but that's just a guess. I don't actually know the real reason. But Frank has been hands off the entire time. I'm not surprised. My own husband only cared about the food, cake flavor, and that the colors weren't pink. But Frank has been telling Mary to save money since that's what she's good at, and that he didn't want to spend a bunch of money on one day. So Mary picked out things that were cheaper, but were not good enough for Frank. Like that mansion/large house where everyone would be staying? Yeah, Frank's idea. Mary apparently wanted to do a hotel that hosted weddings because her family could stay there for less money, and the hotel was just cheaper to host a wedding versus a literal mansion with horses. He would do this with everything and veto things like her choices of decorations and vendors because they weren't big enough, or I'm guessing extravagant. He even told her how big her bouquet had to be and that her dress needed to have lots of bling. So basically, Mary has been trying to stick to the budget, but what was in the budget didn't match Frank's taste or expectations. So when I said she had to pay for the cake, Frank accused Mary of not saving the money despite her being so money conscious. And Mary wasn't the one who had the problem with the cake. It was Frank. I guess they both knew the cake was free, but Frank didn't know I was making it as a gift. Mary explained that I was, and he said that didn't count, and to ask me about it. He said it didn't count because friends doing favors for an event like a wedding isn't a gift. On some level she must have agreed because she didn't mention Frank being the one with the problem at all in the messages, but whatever. Anyway, the cake was what Mary was really looking forward to because it was the only thing she felt she had 100% say in regarding the wedding. And when I charged her for it, Frank was upset that Mary was not saving the money like he was expecting. This resulted in a fight where they ended up not on speaking terms. When Frank was complaining to Pam's fiancé and the rest of the groomsmen, it was in text and, according to Pam, Mary found them and left Frank for making her seem like a greedy bitch to everyone when she was only getting things Frank wanted without Frank's help. And that if it were up to her, they wouldn't have most of the expensive things she bought for the wedding. The only contact I've had from Mary was an apology text message. When I told her it was okay and we were still friends, she didn't answer. In fact, she hasn't answered anyone other than to tell the wedding party that the wedding was off, apologize for the inconvenience, and since then, she's been quiet. She did post on her social media a long apology for canceling. She said postponed, but I noticed her relationship status is gone. But the location/check-in is in the hometown where her parents live, not where we live, so I think she went back to her parents' house after calling the wedding off. But that's all I know, and I heard it secondhand from Pam. But according to Pam, Frank is upset Mary left because all his money is tied up in vendors that he can't get back and has been trying to plead his case with the groomsmen. But only his brother is on his side. Pam's fiancé and the other groomsmen have stopped talking to him. Also, I heard Charlotte asking why Mary wasn't paying for the wedding, too. I can't answer that, but Mary works as an SDNA and doesn't make a lot. Her bachelor's was in psychology and she never went on to get her doctorates, so getting employed in her field isn't very easy. I also don't know if they're still together. Mary didn't say they broke up, just that the wedding is postponed/canceled. I apologize if this confused anyone, but I'll try to answer anything I can in the comments. Just remember I heard most of this secondhand besides the apology I got from Mary and the post she made online, so I may not have all the answers. Edit. Changed Pam's husband to Pam's fiancé. Sorry, I wrote this in a rush and was trying to keep up with the fake names for privacy. Relevant comments. @exciting7417. I don't understand the connection between Mary wanting a gift and a free cake to Frank Villainous. Like, isn't Mary still wrong for asking for a gift? OP. She is. But she apologized and I accepted it. The only part I'm not clear on is how it even came up as a conversation between her and Frank. It might have just been casual, but she may have also been talking on speakerphone. I do that with my husband in the room, so he hears my conversation sometimes even if he's not part of it. But it sounds like Frank was mad that they were now paying for the cake when he thought it would be free, and the goal was to spend little money for nice stuff. I'm guessing that if I agreed to do the cake and gave them a bill from the beginning instead of volunteering to do it for free, I would be dealing with "that's too expensive for a cake," or "we're friends, I should get a discount." Like there would have been negotiating from the start regardless. And I've had people pull those lines on me before. That's another reason why I rarely do cakes for people even if they offer to pay, because they still want some type of discount and get mad when I don't give one. Forbidden Swan. Arguably the best part about this is that she apologized to you. But it also answers some questions that your other posts left open. But the one you didn't answer. Is your husband still team Mary can suck an egg? OP no. My husband, despite not liking Mary, thought this was strange behavior from her, too. So when he found out that Frank's been lying, or at least not wholly honest about everything, he's team Frank can kick rocks with no shoes on.